folks, and welcome to the stream. My name is Mike D'Angelo, aka That Tellest Guy. We are back in the jungle today. We officially named this map while we were off stream. This is going to officially be called the Jungle Flowering Hydra. You can see we did a little bit of work off stream to, get the position of the Hydra correct, and we switched some things out. I wasn't a huge fan of just having it pitched left, so I figured we could do something kind of cool here, and we disguised the back of the tail over here because it didn't make a lot of sense to have a huge tail for the Hydra in my mind. So we switched some things around. Right now, pretty much everything that you see here on this kind of like tuft of grass is part of the background at this point, so I can't manipulate it at all except to do something like that. So we're not going to do that. But the flowers, the Hydra, the skulls, everything like that, they're all pretty much set in stone. I think what we're going to do is we're going to try and elevate this little tuft of land a little bit, maybe put some more flowers and stuff like that on there, and then we're going to figure out what our other points of interest are going to be on this section of the map. One of the tricky things that we have is a decent amount of this map is a water feature at this point, and we're going to get a little bit more of it here. Maybe kind of like a mud looking sort of thing, but we do have some challenges that we have to navigate. So let's start by, we're going to go and subtract some of the land over here. We don't want to make it a huge amount of whatever going on. Let's do a smooth brush. So this ought to help out a little bit. I want to try and have it pretty much along the borders of this kind of grassy area, because I kind of want to sell the idea that that area that the Hydra died on, or that it's now laying on if it's not actually dead, that it... Ooh, I gotta clean that up a little bit. I want it to be kind of raised up a smidge. I feel like that is what like the grass line kind of helps me do. Definitely gonna have to clean this up a little bit more as we go. But that's kind of the idea, is to have it kind of flow into kind of this position. Now I think we had said before, we don't really care about the mask effects. So we're going to do something like that so that we can kind of clean that up. We don't really see in the two other maps to the south and southeast that kind of thing going on. So we need to make sure that that's, kind of properly maintained. Let's go back to our ad real quick and make sure that right around the grass lines continue looking good. That stuff right there that we want to try and push a little bit further out. And again, you're not really going to notice that when we turn off the mask effects, but I know it's there. And it bothers me. All right. Little smidges over on these sides. Too far on that one. I'm actually okay with that side. These ones over here, they need to be adjusted. Alrighty, and then that's pretty much good. Let's go and see if we can't find... I don't like that kind of dirt look there. Let's try and see if we can find some mud or something like that. I feel like... Well, we've got this. Let's see what the wet mud does for us. So now I think 30 would be good. Again, right now it looks a little strange just because we don't have it. We have the mask effects and everything. If we turn the mask effects off now, it's still a little wonky, but we should be able to navigate our way around that. Let's start off by, We're going to do some cliffs. But we're not going to do the cliffs that we usually do along the water. We're going to do these guys from the core a little bit. And we're going to dial them back a lot. And what I'm going to try and do, if we can pull it off, is put these underneath the grass. And it is tricky, for sure. And it's going to be even trickier because I can't really see where a lot of it is, but I think we're okay. A little glitchy here and there. That might be a little too big for this area, but we'll see. Actually, it didn't look too bad. And let's just do a sneak peek without the mask effects. Yeah, at least that part looks pretty nice. And then what we'll end up doing is some more of that kind of wet mud look, but in a softer opacity along those lines. And it should look like it's transitioning nicely into that little area. Okay, and let's put the mask effects back on because that'll help me line things up. Hungry Kobold says, how be the map treating you? I think the map's looking pretty good so far. This is, it's part of some other zoning that we have, so it's nice to be able to add some flavor to this area of the Tellest universe. How be it with you? Okay, I need a smaller little guy there. Do something around that size, and then let's go back to our mask effects, and we're going to add this little guy here. There we go. And then we'll do the other side. Hungry Kobold says he's vibing, just finished creating yet another random D&D character. How did it go this time? I gotta tell, my brother is making a character too, and Rihanna came up with a really funny name for him, so I'm excited to tell you about it. Oh, that's a good one. Looks good in that position. That one right there. Good stuff. Alright, I don't need a billion of those big ones. Okay, this little guy here, almost to the end. One more little guy there. Perfect. Okay, clean that up a little bit more. have to do the same thing here as well. And let's save just to see. Oh, you know what? That one kind of angles a little bit wonkly. Wonkly is a word. I've deemed it so. Okay, let's do the old save. So obviously our Hydra is the main focus of this map, but we do need, as I said, those other points of interest. I try to do 4 in every map, so we're definitely going to try and see what we can do there. I think because water takes up so much of what we have here, there's going to be some other piece that we have in the water. I don't think that we're going to have any crossings over to the right side of the map, because we do have down here one of the well, I'll show you, because there's nothing keeping me from doing it. So if we move that map up, we've got 2 bridges that cross into that little island, so we don't really want to duplicate that or anything. There's no need. So that was actually a really nice fit, the way that tree ended up over there. So Hungry Kobold says, well, I created an aberrant mind sorcerer who is a reborn drow who died halfway during Ceramorphosis, and his corpse was chucked out, but later was resurrected by a necromancer who thought to control him, but due to the Ceramorphosis, his mind prevented him from being controlled by him. Well, that's pretty cool. It's like a Death Knight who has full control over their faculties. Very neat stuff. My brother's creating a character for a campaign that he's doing with one of his buddies, and I don't think that he's actually going to use this name, but Rihanna suggested, he's playing an Arakoa, and Rihanna suggested that he call himself Jackdaw Goosifer. Good times. All right, so we're going to go to the foreground. We're going to do some more of this mud, but we're going to set the opacity way down. Might be too way down. I don't even know if it's working. It was. I was just being impatient. Okay, keep going. So ideally, in most situations, I would change the size of a lot of these palettes to be a little bit more further away, a little shrunken down. But in trying to keep with the other stuff that we already have, we're doing it this way. And unfortunately, because so many components of our map are kind of slapped into the map itself, there's really not too much that we can do there. So it is what it is. I might later recreate it. I mean, this didn't take me a huge amount of time to do something like this, so I can always make adjustments later. But all right, so that looks really nice, I think. I might try and see if there's some like edging that I can put up here, just to try and clean it up a little bit more, make it look a little bit more. Oop, that is an ad, and I don't want to do an ad. What I wanted to do was try and blend this a little better. I don't like just like the straight up line there or anything, so we're going to clean that up a little bit so it doesn't look quite like a change between foreground and background. Kind of defeats the purpose of what we're doing. And in theory, like, I didn't really need to do it that way. It just helps me to keep things clean. Okay, and this one, the line is very apparent, so we're going to go and blend this one a little bit more as well. blending that in is very nice. So Inkarnate just did another run of beta users, and they were talking about having it be like the most active, you know, subscribers. And I'm working on maps every darn day. And apparently I am not among their most active users, so go figure. They got their new sci-fi stuff. They've got their new path tool and everything like that. I want to play with stuff. Let's see if we do that. Do we lose more than we gain? I think it works. I can always adjust it later if I need to. Okay. So let's figure out what else we're doing here. I definitely feel like we need a little bit more tree cover. So let's do some other stuff here. I don't want like any fruit trees or, you know what we could do? I feel like we're gonna end up not liking this, but let's check out some of the trees that they have. I don't really want to do anything with the jungle trees because it's going to look so very different compared to the other stuff that we have. It just doesn't capture things. We'll save that for when we're doing the jungle ruins. Let's see. We've got, I think in the core, we've got the deciduous trees, and if we, I don't know, that really kind of takes it out as well. I think we're stuck with using the kind of roundy boys that we've been using. Let's do all of these big trees over here. And we'll do another one along the coast. And let's see. Let's lock some of this stuff down. That right there is where former presidents have been shot. Alright, so we're not going to do anything with the bridges. So let's get rid of the bridges. Let's get rid of the log. But we could use some swamp fronds. So let's grab a couple of these guys. Move them around so that we've got them over here instead. Yes. Looks good. And we've got this little guy too. Is it the same style? No, it is not. So we're going to make use of this one too. Just realized that we have a little bit over here. That wasn't... Oh, background, not foreground. Okay. Nice and clean. Okay. Keeping that tree there. Let's see what we can clean up. Got a fallen tree over there. We don't need the jungle fighting ring map anymore, I don't think. I feel like that's so far away that I don't really need to use it for any inspiration or anything like that, so we'll clear that out. So what do we got over here? More trees. Yep. Let's do this. Let's get rid of that tree. That tree. Still got swamp fronds, don't need all those. But I do want these little flowery ones. Or at least one or two of them here and there. You guys are sticking around, so we're going to keep you there. We'll kind of lock things down when we know we're using them. So the one thing that I'm not a huge fan of when it comes to this stuff is I don't think that there's an easy way to kind of combine pieces into another group. But it is what it is. Okay, that looks good. Definitely cleaning some stuff up. Don't really think that we need anything here either, but it's nice to have it there to kind of figure things out. You know what? Now is a good time to go to our sponsor. Always hard at work on multiple series, author Aaron Renfro is currently making magic with the penultimate book in his Resonance Cycle series. Night Unleashed sees the Lit RPG series character mainstays coming to terms with the fact that, though they may have supernatural talents, even they can bleed. With the final battle not far off, Renfro puts the pieces into their positions, leaving a promise for readers and fans that what is to come will be nothing short of legendary. If you enjoy lit RPGs and isekai adventures, you'll be fully immersed with the magic and splendor of Night Unleashed, the 6th book in the Resonance Cycle. Check out our promo on the Tellest website this week. Alrighty, so we'll keep this going for a few more minutes or so. Keep on playing with things until we figure out what we like, what we don't like, yada yada yada, all that good stuff. Don't need that swamp frond. Yeah, we don't have too many objects on this map, all things considered, because we flattened this guy to the background, or foreground in any case. So let's see. I kind of want to have a different skeleton in the water. And I don't think fish skeletons make a lot of sense, so we're not going to have any of that. And that, being a dragon, is way too big for that body of water. I'll tell you what. Let's do something like this. What we're going to do is throw this spear in the water. So let's drop this to the background. And we're going to go back to our brush. Not quite like that. We're going to take a couple of passes at this spear. So you can kind of just barely see it there under the water. And let's do some rocks and stuff. I don't know if I'm going to put them in the water, but we might. Alright, so we've got our big favorites over here. Let's do I don't want it to serve as like a border between these two trees, so we'll do something like that. Like that kind of bluish look that we have there. And then let's grab one of our other guys and we'll throw that in the water on top of our spear. Or at least by it. Okay, a couple passes of this. tricky part is now that the spear is under that rock, we're losing some stuff. Now that I think about it, that spear is way too big. But I have just the fix for it. Yeah! And then we try again. Alright. So we're going to take this here spear. And I feel like a 6-foot spear makes more sense. So if I do it like that, it's about 6 feet. So that's good. And then let's go grab our rock. We're going to use this style again. Shrink it down a considerable amount. Have them like that. And now I can send them both to the background at the same time. And not quite. So you can just barely see it there. And maybe that's a little too much then. Let's do one more kind of half pass. There you go. You can see it. And since we're doing this kind of stuff, let's do one more little movement of the swamp frond. And that way, maybe you're not immediately drawn to it. You think that it's a part of the terrain, but it's a little secret tool that we can use later. Got 125 changes on the board, so let's hit save, see what we can do there. We'll probably do some more map work for about 5 minutes or so, and then I got some other stuff that I got going on, so we got to make sure that we're mindful of what free time we have tonight. Let's do, I feel like the Jungle Temple map that we were working on. It's a good place to look at for inspiration. Let's see what we got. Pretty bare bones, to be perfectly honest. Not a lot that we did with that first map, but it was only the second map that I worked on, I think. So it stands to reason that that's the kind of thing that we would see. Let's go back to our Jungle Fighting Ring, which is map number 23. Bring that up and see what we're working with. Yeah, I mean, still pretty bare bones. We didn't use like any plants on the islands themselves or anything. I mean, we had the flowers over here, but yeah, not really a lot. All right, so we've got these guys over here. Maybe they're reeds and stuff, or maybe they're just swamp fronds that I didn't end up using. Oh yeah, there's a decent amount. Let's do some stuff over here just to kind of be able to put some stuff around the edges and stuff like that. It'll end up looking nice. You, sir, need to be under the tree. There we go. Okay. Nice shadow under there and everything. Let's see what else we can do. So we've got our 2 points of interest right now. That's not a lot going on. Just south of here we have the camp, so I don't want to do something that kind of makes it look like we're not paying attention to that and where it is. Let me think. I feel feel like typically I know what I want to do, but this map just kind of throws me for a loop as far as all the stuff that's going on. Well, I'll tell you what, one of the things that we can do is some flocking, so we're going to do that. We're going to go to the core. We're going to dial that down to at least 30. And let's do a little bit further. 20 is good. 20 might not be good enough. Okay, so I'm specifically looking at places where not a lot of that stuff has kind of come through. So we'll do stuff like that here and there. And let's do a couple of stones over in the area where the rocks are. And let's clear this out and see if there's any other stamps that kind of jump out at us. I don't think that there will be. I think we're going to have to be clever about this spot, but it's a-okay. That new tab was only here for a few seconds before they got rid of it. I wonder if they still have the holiday stuff up. Nope. Valentine's Day has officially been scrubbed. It's a good thing I got that. Nope, I lied. It's here. And we used all of that stuff, so not that anything of that would fit in here right now anyway. Let's see. I'm just playing with stuff at this point. They look good as little gems. Alright, I think there's no sense in pushing for things when you don't need to. So let's do this. Let's lock the cliffs. Do one last save, and then we're gonna squish over to the show closing screen. So, folks, on the screen right now, you should see all the places that you can find Tellest content. Probably the easiest one to go to is just Tellest.com. That'll usually lead you into other directions. It'll show you our books. It'll show you some of the other projects that we're working on. But if you want to get to any of the premium content that Tellest delivers, there's two places that you should look to first. One is the Patreon, patreon.com/Tellest. That's where these maps eventually end up going in high-res, gridded, and gridless versions, in addition to any variants that we work on. I think the Mandu one is Jockey Milk. The other one that you can look at is Tellest.Etsy.com, and that's where you can actually get physical versions of our maps on 20 by 40 jumbo mouse pads. They look really nice, and if you get, like, for instance, the jungle maps, you can get all 4 mouse pads and lay them side by side to have one big zone that's really fun to play with. And then the Etsy store also has things like posters, stickers, bookmarks, the Tellest art board, the Tellest art book, the Quantum Quest game, and I've got some really cool news about Quantum Quest coming soon, stuff like that. And it's got Rhianna's Weird Witch wands, which are her one-of-a-kind handcrafted wands, and you can see more of them on tiktok.com/@weirdwitchwands. She usually shows kind of like a little promo video set to nice music, so if you want to see some of those wands and see why they are as impressive as I always claim that they are, those are a good way to find those. And then the other TikTok channel that we have is @TalesOfTellest, and that's one that follows our dogs. The last two places that I'll bring your attention to, we've got our YouTube channel, which you can see these videos at well after they're moved off of Twitch, but Twitch is the only place that you can find them live, and that's twitch.tv/thattellestguy. You can tell, even though I didn't talk very much today during the stream, my voice is still kind of crackly. So we're going to save my voice. We're going to focus on some of the other stuff that we got to get done tonight, and I like I'm going to try and get back tomorrow to do a little bit of work, because this map, while on the easy side compared to like the Cupid's Maze that I was doing, it's sneakily out of my reach of completing it, and I want to make sure that we have this done for Tuesday of next week. So we'll leave it at that for now. Thank you for joining us, and I miss you.